Welcome back, everyone. So we are joined with Parul ma'am from Abhikram uh, for a talk on conservation. Welcome back, Parul ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today, and coming back and giving your insights on everything that you have done so far. Thank you so much for taking out your time.
Hello, everyone. Yesterday we had some glitches. That's what happens in these virtual presentations. And we had to stop at a point, and we will start again from that slide. Can we start?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Please.
Okay, this is the slide that you see. It's a brick on which, when we asked our craft person, when we were doing our own house, that please give us all the types of colors that we can do with natural materials in the line. So this is what he gave us. It's like a color plus ad. So these are the possibilities, and then of course you can add also the modern materials to it to get the kind of colors that you want. But in natural, this is the limitation. Next, please. And this, what he is doing is making a lime jali. A jali from lime only. There is no reinforcement, nothing. It's just a lime slab that he has made. He's laid out the lime in, I think, about 1.5 inch thickness, and he drew the designs, and then he has cut that design. And what you see down there is, after it's dried up, we have placed it within our walls, compound wall, and that's how it looks at night, and that's the day view. These jalis lasted for, say, about 20 years, because this concoction of lime was made as per the Jaipur craftsman. And Jaipur does not get as much rain as we do. It is not as humid as Ahmedabad is. Even it's very, very dry in winter and summer both. So that variation did not make it last long. Otherwise, these lime jalis have lasted for 100, 200 years in Jaipur, in Udaipur. Every place, you have to look at the weather, what is available, and then add the additives into it. This was our learning process. Next, please. And then we were using recycled materials in our house for flooring as far as possible, and experimenting as much as we can to see what the craftsman can actually do. So these are the third grade and fourth grade tiles that we bought, and we made China mosaic designs, very geometric in ground floor. Then first floor we had some uh, stones, but ground floor we also added glass mosaics with this. And unfortunately, the glass mosaics after 20 years have started coming out, but nothing has happened to China mosaic. And on the terrace we did this. And next is our, sorry, on terrace we decided that why not have birds and leaves and flowers and things like that, which also they did beautifully. Now we'll just show our attempts in architecture and interior design in contemporary context. Next please. This is LV Prasad Eye Institute that we did the extension of in architecture, and then we did interiors for other areas, as well as this is the VIP patient care area, in which we have maximized the use of local arts and crafts. And what one room that they wanted was like a classical room, and the other they wanted was a Scandinavian style room. So we used all the prints and fabrics were purchased from there. We also got these three tree of life designs done by a very famous artist in Ahmedabad. The Tree of Life pattern design is inspired from what is there available in Hyderabad. And this is all done with natural dyes. This is that living room. That's where the patient care is, patient's bed is. This is the Scandinavian room, and you have these curtains so that whenever doctor comes to visit and check up the patient, you draw the curtains. Next, please. And this is the formal area, sitting area. We also have added a secretary's desk, etc. And this panel that you see is done in Upada fabric, where actually gold thread and pure silk threads are used. And on both the sides, if you see that fabric, it will look the front side. There is no back side in this fabric. And after, the best part is we were called after 20 years, 21 years, to redo the place. And they had actually, because the housekeeping people changed, the doctors changed who are heading this department, etc. So this flooring they had not polished, and this is of course recycled wood that we had used. And they said, we need to change the flooring, etc. There were some changes they required in the ceiling, because now the AC system had changed. We had to change things there, and they had few more requirements for the toilet area. So, and we have used the same furniture. We said you don't have to redo the furniture, we don't have to bring in new furniture at all. We will just refurbish it, and the curtains also we refurbished. And you can see that we have done patchwork here, which is also their tradition, like in Gujarat, on chikpardi. And these are the curtains with the fabric woven in Andhra Pradesh, and it has tarnished gold print, which is also done in Andhra Pradesh. And you can imagine the kind of savings we did for the client by not redoing the furniture, not getting in new furniture, not telling them to throw away this, but we just recycle the whole place. And once we again polished this, they said, no, 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 we don't want to change the flooring at all. We love it. Next. This was another experiment in South Gujarat, in middle of the Wadi, what we call Wadi, Akhi, with fruits and all that. And our condition was that we had to renovate this house, conserve parts of it, and do some extension. This was more than 100-year-old house, a residence of, I think originally it belonged to a Parsi gentleman. Next. And this is what we did. We experimented with different kinds of stones, marbles, and especially here on the walls. What we have is the Keramos tiles, which are again glass mosaics and China mosaic. Not glass mosaics, sorry. These are China mosaics and stone mosaics with it. This is the stone. In between is the layer of wood. Next, everything is custom made. Next, this is the living room. We have kept the same floor, polished it, and all the ceilings were painted over years. We just removed the paint, and this is how it looks. It's fabulous. They just love this place again. It's been about 12 years, and they now want me to refurbish it. Thank you. Next. And our condition was that you're not going to cut any tree. The trees will go through the roof. You can see that. And this is the craftsmanship in wood that we can get, and we don't use them because we go in for all ready-made products. We didn't have to tell the carpenter how to go about it. He knew it, and none of these roofs leak, and these trees are alive even today. You can see in some of them branches, new leaves are coming up. Next. When we extended the room, the palm tree went through the, sorry, Coconut tree went through the toilet. So that's how it was treated. And the carpenter decided how to make it leak proof. They know everything, you leave it to them. And then the daughter wanted a special bed. Next. Daughter wanted a special bed. So we had to design it for her. We designed this, sent these drawings to our person in Udaipur, because she wanted wood and white metal together. And she wanted the Udaipur feel also in the room. Next. Next. So this is what they did. Not next. Go back, please. So we had some mirror work done on the walls, and this is the bed that we got in parts, and it was assembled here. Look at the white metal work that they have done. This, look at this. Look at this canopy. We didn't have to go and supervise anything. It just came, finished. Next. Projects with In these projects that I'm going to show you, there were no trained engineers or supervisor on site, engineering supervisor on site. Next. This had about more than 100 feet difference from one end to the other. This is now the Ramada Inn. We used to call it Monsoon Palace Resort. That's the name that the client wanted to give. And then he handed over to Ramada. And so our landscape designer, Shirish Raval, he really negotiated the levels very well, because we said we have to do minimum cut and fill. These are suites, it's a cluster. So about four families could rent it out. All these, and then there is a courtyard here. There is a courtyard. They share a common courtyard. That's the staircase to go up. Two suites on top, two suites downstairs. Next. That's the plan. These are all suites, and these are regular rooms. But even the rooms, these regular rooms also get a part covered veranda, and then a part is open, so that you enjoy the weather, you can enjoy the sky, looking at the sky, etc. And these are the public areas. You enter here, and there is also a bridge, because this is a beautifully undulated site, and we have not touched much of that. And our landscape designer really did a good job. You're really climbing up almost 70 feet by the time you come here, and another 30 or 40, I think it's 120 feet difference. Next. Next, please. Hello. Hello. And it's made from this material, all local craftspeople. This is the kind of stone that comes to the site, and this is the kind of workmanship they give you. Can you see this edge? It's perfect, right? Perfect right angle. There's no, the line doesn't go like this and like that anywhere. And this is the beam that they cast in stone. These are the brackets that they themselves, we give them that freedom, that how you want to do it. You can show us some samples, it's your design. And these putties, stone putties that you see, they are for the slab. And look at the kind of detailed work that they do. All the chips, when they dress up these stones, they size them right. All these gaps are filled up by these chips. Next. Next, please. You can get a closer look at that. Look at the way this work is done. Oh, nothing goes out of the site, there is no wastage. Even whatever cut and fill was done, all that stones were used here. And these brackets also is their design. Okay, can we use this bracket? Yes, you can use it. This is again a Tree of Life's resort. Next, please, near Amir. It's in Wilderness. And client was heading one of the international tour tour operators, huge big ones. So he had traveled all over the world and stayed in the best hotels, and there was a brief, very detailed brief that we were given, and it's this is the product out of that, where we interact with the client a lot. We try to understand what is their vision, and then we try and portray their personality. We don't want to portray our personality. I think it would be an insult to our practice if people can recognize the style. By style, if they say, oh, આ તો આ માણસની સ્ટાઇલ છે એટલે આ જ આર્કિટેક્ટનું કામ છે. No, I'm sorry. Which means I'm not creative. Which means I'm stuck to a style and I don't want to get out of that vocabulary. Next, please. Yes, so that's the entrance, and that's how you enter. There's water and lotus lily pond on both the sides. That's your reception area. A stone trellis here, a courtyard, nice fountain. Then these are the restrooms. I think one of them is book store, offices, etc. Then that's the restaurant. That's a Ganesh abode. We had collected many Ganesh statues, and we have worked with the contours. From this place to here, this is more or less a flat land, just maybe the difference, the contours would be about couple of meters only from this end to that end. And then the difference is almost about 15 feet or so. And again, these were ravines. And we have kept them, just consolidated them and used them in that manner. Next, please. And they wanted, I mean, there were so many options that we did, maybe 15 options, 20 options for domes and this kanguras, etc. And then this is what was finalized. Next. Each is a villa here. And this is the kind of domes that they wanted. These are the domes for the toilet area, and that's above the bedroom, above the bed in the bedroom. So we asked the karigar that we want to do the dome. Will you be able to do it? He said, of course, of course. This is the way that you go about, and then just take the stones and dress them up and do. We said, we don't want you to do that. How do you do in your village? So next. We said, we want you to do the domes in the way you would do it in the village. They said they went back, came back, and told, okay, we will do it. And look at their formwork. Isn't that great? It's recyclable formwork. This is the way they did. They cut it in wood, plywood. And then they finished the cow dung cakes with mitti and a little bit of lime. And this is how they started working with the wall. This is the way they actually do in their villages. Next. Next. See, that dome is completed, and certain domes also had this to take the lime weight. The smaller domes, that's the larger dome. And before it was plastered, we did not have any structural engineer in this. We generally don't take any structural engineers when we can get hold of traditional craft people, because they know their way. They will calculate what is the depth that you need. Once they look at the soil, they are structural engineers and they are basically designers. We just have to work with them. They should be part of our team and participate in the design process as well. Only then your projects become unique. So we calculated it was going to be more than 2 tons. So we said, well, we will have to do the load test. So we asked them to fill the gunny bags with the stones and load the dome. And this is the photograph that we got from the client with a email by saying how strong can strong really be. So that's more than 2 tons, and on top of them, each one of them, and look at the pride that they have. They have achieved something, right? Once you give them that freedom, they work with you with their heart, soul, and mind. And that is what we always look for, right? We don't want to the people to work like a robot. Next, please. Next. Yeah. So this is the entrance, lobby entrance, the fountain. Again, this is their logo and they got it carved. So, and this is the work done in mirror work. So you can use it in a contemporary way, right? You don't have to do the same type of carvings. You have to be creative about it. The and these craftsmen can work with whatever you give them, and then they will give their own inputs. And when you let them loose, in the sense that you can ask them to put in their design efforts, their creativity, when it comes in, it takes the building and the craft to another level. This person had worked in Amir Palace in the Sheesh Mahal. He did not get any other further work because they had conserved all that was to be conserved in the palace. So he was doing here menial job of a laborer. So Nimish asked that who knows who can do this mirror work here? Do you know? So this fellow said, "I've done something." So Nimish said, "Please do a sample for me." But why are you doing this? And when he did a sample, we were shocked at the finesse and the perfection that he had. So we told his brother also, who was the chief mason, artisan, that please don't make him do labor work anymore. He has to preserve his hands. So whenever we need someone to do the mirror work, we will let you know. And we would want to encourage such artists. And the best part about it is that these people came from the same village and 2, 3 villages around that. So they slept in their houses, they went to their farm or to the attended to the business early morning, had their breakfast in their house, came down here to work, went for lunch at their house, rested, came back, worked here till evening, again went back, looked at their farm or whatever they had to look at in business, and stayed at home. So you can imagine the level of health, mental and physical health, that they would have enjoyed while working here. And now about 15 of them have been employed in the same place. This is again Samsara Luxury Resort and Spa between Jaisalmer and Jodhpur. It's up, I think, about an hour away from Jodhpur. Again, here, same thing, same local materials, same condition with the clients, that you have to find the local craftspeople only. Next. So that's the highway, and you enter from here at this juncture. This is the service road that goes there, and this is where you get the uh, guest guests arrive from this. They drive through, and again here we had Kishore Pradhan as our consultant, landscape consultant, and he has used indigenous plants. And this is all khajur trees. Can you imagine? And they grow khajur and they can use that and now sell the khajur also to their guests. That's where you have the entrance, and these are all the public areas. You have the lounge here, then meeting rooms, banquet hall, restaurant, etc. That's where the restaurant is. Yes, that's where the bar is. And look at, and these are the clusters of rooms and the pool area and the suites. Next, please. And these are the dunes which belong to the same place. And look at this. These are again stones that are cantilevered as chajjas. They stand on them and work. They only go in by 4.5 to 5 inches, and this is not cladded stone, it is stone masonry work. Can you see any cement, or I mean, there was no cement, any lime over here? This is still under construction. Can you see the perfection in their work? And look at the geometry, look at the shadows, they're so perfect. And these are cantilevered slabs, each is one stone, a step, each step is one stone. Next please. Yes, that's the bar area, that's the dining space, open breakfast area, some pavilions. That's the entrance courtyard. I told the client I'd seen some the lotus like lamps in one of the photographs of a Jain temple. So I just asked the client, can we do something like this? He said, sure. He went to the craftsman, took the photograph, and that's what they did. And that's the fountain. And look at this. The flooring also, when you see, this is again what we experimented with the stone. This is over inlay. I mean, we wanted to get a three-dimensional effect, and this is what we wanted to do, part carving. Next. And all the soft furnishings are made here. They were designed in our office, except for the sofa material. They were made in and around the issue area. The artists, we contemporized that, and the artists were again local. We asked the craftspeople, can you mix softest stones to hardest stone, which is this lakha red granite, black granite, white marble, and softest Jaisalmer. They said, no problem. You try and ask them to the city people. These people say, we have no issues, we will polish it, and that's the kind of polish you get. And all this is made locally. So imagine what each hotel, if you use all soft furnishings and all wooden work, everything is done locally. How much livelihood can it generate? Then these people don't have to migrate. You have to understand that. Next, please. Next. Yes, look at the perfection in their design. They had told us, you give us any design and it will be perfectly executed. We hardly went there on that site for once in 3 months or something like that. Next, please. Then in new typologies with our learnings and explorations, starting with Udaipur. Next, please. We had worked in the palace and in the city as well. Next. And the Maharana introduced us to Mr. Oberoi, and he asked us if we would do this project. And we said only if we can follow the guidelines that we have already set through our conservation policy report. And he said yes, and we narrated some, and he said, I have no issues. And we were able to revive 21 arts and crafts through this project. And this was done, we got this project in 89. It took a long time to be completed for the simple reason because of the red tapeism, and people did not believe that what is our intention to do, use local craftspeople, revive the local arts and crafts and soft furnishings, etc. And also when it is part of the most scenic view around Lake Pichola, it has to be congruent with the city palace. So that's the entrance courtyard. We also said that it cannot be more than two-storied only where there is a valley condition. And it should, next, please. And these are the crafts that we were able to revive. Next. Here are the craftsmen, all busy in different crafts. You don't like one painting, you don't like the man, the way it is standing there. They said, "आप शाम को आ जाना, बदल देंगे." This each room open has a small terrace as a sit out, and the pool. That's the spa area and its pool. Next, next, yeah, the entrance area. Next, please. That's the entrance court, and that's a courtyard. It was designed on the same principles as the palaces were designed in Udaipur. That's the entrance courtyard to the lobby lounge. These are the rooms up there, the banquet areas down there. Next. Yeah, the rooms also get a terrace and a Jaroka. Next, please. The entrance courtyard to the lounge, lobby lounge, and you're looking into that entrance into the larger lily pond courtyard, the lobby lounge, the grand staircase. And Mr. Oberoi said, "What will we do with the negative space?" We said, "We just get a painting done." That's the restaurant, all day dining, and its terrace. This is the bar. The ceilings, this has about, I think, 14,000 glass pieces. They would just show us some designs and we approve it and they go ahead and do it. Next. Yes, here I was talking about that. You don't like this person? Okay. You don't like the color scheme? Come by evening, we will change it. This was a blank wall leading to the suites. So Nimish suggested that why don't we do a procession? Next, the lily pond when you see from top. Next, the long pond as we call it, the spa and its pool. Next, this has all, uh, yeah, Oberoi Uday Vilas has all the 21st century facilities put into it. And our argument with the architectural community is because they say that you are copying what is there. We said we are not copying, we have taken the inspiration. That becomes our inspiration. We have 121 different types of arches that we have developed here, cusp arches. And we are proud to copy what is our legacy, what is our tradition, rather than copy what is the Western tradition. We don't want to become people who just accept what is dished out to us by the Western society. We have a longer history, much richer traditions, a beautiful history, and most of the things, I would say, all of the things that we did were based on science. And our science is tested science for more than 5,000 years. Their science and whatever they say is new is only 100 years old, 50 years old, 10 years old. So even our Ayurveda is far more. Of course, there are other things that not everything can be resolved by Ayurveda, though they did do surgeries also at that point in time. But we have been kept away from all this information. And these are the things that we able to dig out from people, from the scholars in Rajasthan. So, how has our practice benefited? Our designs have found newer, more sustainable avenues for contributing to built and interior environments. Our designs have been able to blend contemporary with traditional in a seamless manner. Our practice is able to make contemporary designs more congruent with the historicity of the context. Our clients have committed themselves to increase the employment generation for local craft persons. Our condition here was that there will not be any wall to wall carpet. All the carpets will be hand woven, they will not be tufted carpets. Everything that we do, we have to use the craftsman, it has to be hand skills. Our clients, yeah, our designs have been able to demonstrate our potential as patrons of human skills based crafts through our contemporary decision making process and in projects. Next, please. Next. Oberoi Uday Vilas has generated employment for 300 highly skilled craftsmen for 3 years and 3,000 local artisans for 2.5 years, who now continue to get employment in other projects. Next, it is similar to what happened in Tree of Life or in Dechu. These people have traveled abroad because the guests who come, they see all this and they like it. So they take the craftsmen abroad, and we have told our clients that you must introduce the same craftspeople to them also. We don't want to keep them as a secret. Next, back please. Can you go back? Yeah, so outcome is these projects demonstrate the success of the combined efforts of traditional skills and contemporary designers' inputs. Next. Next. This can only happen because we have decolonized our minds. That is a major shift in our outlook and attitude, decolonizing and recentering our focus on local based knowledge of traditional skills, technology, local materials, food, agriculture, which are environmentally friendly with longer lifespan and less embodied energy. We must contribute to have. Can I, how can I read the last line, please? Can you adjust the slide? We must contribute to have a cross-sectoral approach in this. Next, please. The understanding that has emerged from our explorations of the past 4 decades is sustainable practices in construction have been existing all around us but are rare to find in large cities. Traditional decision making processes have offered us many avenues in this direction. Change of our mindsets is extremely essential for India's development to be sustainable. What you're dished out as sustainable new materials, they're not really sustainable. That is marketing by them. You have to get into the depths. What are the chemicals they use? How harmful are they? What is the embodied energy? Are these recyclable? How do they emit VOCs, or do they emit other gases and chemicals which are harmful to our to human race? And that is what is already there, and a lot of other countries are looking into it, and they are getting into suggesting that what chemicals should not be used. So once once we crossed this bridge, it was possible to discover a completely different world where moving forward with the world was not in contradiction with the traditional wisdom. It emerged that blending old with new, tradition with change, was as exciting an option for designing as finding a new 3D software. Starting with the foundations of our past and bringing it to present and onward to the future was an easier option for sustainable development in comparison to starting in the present and borrowing from the past. Then it becomes pastiche. Next. So many teachers, but very few students. Will they find students to share their body of knowledge? Or will their knowledge be the last, or will that be the last generation with whom the knowledge will wither away? A constant question with each one of them. The choice is ours, not theirs. We use them, the knowledge will flourish. If we don't, the knowledge will die. Next. Next, please. Thank you for your time and attention. And if you have time and if there are any questions, I'm willing to answer them.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Um, for someone who has visited Oberoi Villas in Udaipur, I was very much in awe, very much in fascination, uh, because I was just, I was spellbounded by the beauty of every single corner of that resort. So thank you for enlightening us with the process of the structure, with the planning of it, with the backstories of every single structure that Abhikram has been rooted with. We actually are in a little time constraint, but I think we can have this one question as to how do we decide if an old building is historic enough to save? Uh, how do we decide according to its life expectancy, according to its materials? What are the measures that can be taken to identify if it is old enough to save? Or
For
yeah, can you
every
please?
building, it has to be differently assessed. It has to be assessed. Like we restored a 700-year-old fort that was Six Senses Fort Barwada. So even though all its, they were very different. They were very different from the a lot of other buildings and things that we had restored in Rajasthan. And but we have been successful, fortunately, and we have done also additions, new additions to it, and the old has been conserved and preserved, and adaptive reuse of it has been done through interiors and some additions, etc. So every part of it also, every part, each building in that fort needed a different approach. So there is not one single thing that you can say, what you can do in RCC. It's not necessarily what you can do in our traditional, but it's great fun when you document it properly. You try and understand, and if you are able to find the traditional craftsmen, they can tell you how to restore it. Whether it's in wood, it's in stone, it's in brick, it's in mud, they are expert at it because they have studied. It's not that they have not learned, they were educated. They have their own dictates, they have their own books that they study, they are made to study. Samrangan Sutradhar, Rajvallabh, all these books are there written by architect Mandan, especially for Rajasthan. Even Gujarat has followed a lot of that. And that's why, I mean, they are designers, they are structural engineers, they are taught everything. And we consider them that hum hi padhe hain. Actually they know more because they also work with the material and they know the material as well. And
Right.
also for more stories, we are working on the book of making of Uday Vilas. So there are lots of stories. So when it comes out, maybe you people can enjoy that.
Sure, we look forward to it now that you have mentioned this. Yeah, we definitely look forward to it.
And
I
I'm also
personally will.
looking for archiving. I need archiving help. We are archiving our 44 years of work. So it's a lot of learning as people go through it.
Definitely,
I remember
definitely.
two people who have been going through Uday Vilas drawings. They said, "My goodness, they did earlier phase was doing drawings with through hands, and then the computer." And they said, "We can't imagine doing this."
Yeah,
They just love looking at them.
yeah, of course.
Okay,
All
thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We are really, really grateful that you could make time today and come down and complete your presentation. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you very much, ma'am. And we look forward to everything that you have more to teach us, and Abhikram has more to accomplish. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks a lot, and we look forward to your participation with us. Okay.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.